A very good afternoon to you. I'm Rachel reporting live from 𝐊𝐴𝐚 Studios. It's lunchtime here in Sydney, and you know what that means. It's time for the mid-market pulse. Let us now zoom our lens on the Australian share market performance so far today. Australian shares witnessed a bullish trend so far, with the benchmark index ASX 200 gaining 0.5% on strong buying across tech and material stocks. In the materials space, blue chip miners Rio Tinto, BHP and Fortescue metals are currently the top gainers, hitting their record highs. At the time of lunch, the S&P ASX 200 was trading higher by 0.39%. Earlier today, the index opened higher after the US Federal Reserve affirmed the economic recovery was on track. That's despite a surge in coronavirus cases. Moving on to the sectoral front now, 8 of 11 sectors are trading in the green zone currently. The information sector was the best performer so far today with a 2.4% gain, followed by materials, which rallied 1.5%. Amongst the others, healthcare, consumer staples, energy and utilities are also trading higher. 𝐊𝐴𝐧𝐬 is the worst performer so far today with an over 0.9% loss. Some of the other sectors witnessed selling, including financials and industrials. On the COVID front, the state of New South Wales witnessed a sharp rise in locally acquired COVID-19 cases overnight. The case tally in the past 24 hours surged to 239, with 177 infections reported on Wednesday. Given the rising trend, the state has tightened restrictions in 8 local government areas in Sydney. New South Wales Police have also been given the power to close businesses that flout public health orders. Let us now turn our attention to the biggest gainers and losers that captured investors' attention by the mid-market session. Software firm Iress is currently a top percentage gainer on the ASX, rising almost 13%. That's after rejecting a takeover bid from EQT Fund Management. Some of the other notable gainers were gold producer Regis Resources, also infant formula company, the A2 Milk Company, tech firm Megaport and biopharma company Clinuvel Pharmaceuticals. On the flip side, property firm Ingenia Communities is a top loser so far on the ASX, falling 2.4% by lunchtime. Some of the other worst performers include industrial firm Seven Group Holdings, media firm News Corp, Ansell and real estate player GPT Group. Now let's take a very small break, but stay tuned to 𝐊𝐴𝐚 TV.
Property by 𝐊𝐴𝐚. Looking for a dream home? Well, that may sound easy, but it isn't. And from looking for a property that is the right fit for you in terms of cost and other factors, to zeroing down on the right mortgage plan, there are various aspects to consider. And for the latest slowdown in the property market, tune in on 𝐊𝐴𝐚 TV with me, Sage. I will give the latest updates on the property market as well as real estate stocks to help you make the right decision. Keep watching Property with 𝐊𝐴𝐚.
Welcome back. I'm Rachel reporting live from 𝐊𝐴𝐚 Studios, and you're watching the Mid-Market Pulse. Let us now turn our attention to the biggest gainers and losers that captured investors' attention by the mid-market session. Shares of metals and mining giant Rio Tinto climbed 3.5% to $136.70. That's after the company reported strong earnings and announced to pay $9.1 billion in dividends. The global miner posted its highest ever interim profit for the half year ending the 30th of June, driven by a surge in iron ore prices on strong demand from China. Rio, the world's top producer of iron ore, reported first half underlying earnings more than doubled compared to the same period last year, as prices for iron ore and copper soared. Consolidated sales revenue jumped 71% year on year, and the company declared a total dividend of $5.61 per share, which is more than triple from last year's total payout of $1.55 for the first half. Shares of iron ore miner Fortescue Metals were trading 2.75% higher at $26.52. That's on strong production in the June quarter. The company has registered record quarterly shipments of 49.3 million tonnes and 182.2 million tonnes for financial year 2021. That's the highest ever annual shipment record. It recorded average revenue of $168 per dry metric tonne for the quarter. The strong operating performance combined with record average revenue resulted in solid free cash flow generation in the June quarter. The net cash stood at $2.7 billion in the June quarter compared to the net debt of $1 billion in the end of March quarter. Moving on now, shares of Australian Pharmaceutical Industries were spotted at $1.41. That's after it rejected a takeover bid from Wesfarmers, calling the bid opportunistic. Reacting to the news, Wesfarmers dropped 0.15% to $61.46. The Australian conglomerate had proposed to acquire a 100% stake in the company for a cash consideration of $1.38 per share. The board believes that the proposal undervalues the company and is not in the best interest of its shareholders. The board also notes that the proposal implies a premium of 18.7% to the 3-month volume-weighted average price, which is significantly below the Australian market average for transactions of this nature. Next in the news, lithium mining company Pilbara Minerals has requested a voluntary suspension from the ASX pending the outcome of a court application in Western Australia. The miner has asked the exchange to continue the suspension until the outcome of the court application, which is expected to follow the court hearing scheduled on the 30th of July. The company's shares have entered a trading halt since the 27th of July. But that was after it made an administrative error. They failed to release a cleansing notice within 5 days of issuing shares on the 25th of June. Now let's take a very small break, but stay tuned to 𝐊𝐿𝐼𝐴 TV. I'll be back shortly.
Tune in to get the latest information.
Whether it's about market movements or the currency graph,
Sectoral coverage or industry news.
we cover it all on our news segments.
Be on top of the latest news
With 𝐊𝐿𝐼𝐴 TV.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Rachel reporting to you live from 𝐊𝐼𝐼𝐴 Studios and you're watching the Mid-Market Pulse. Let us look at some more shares that are in the news today. The share price of Ramelius Resources rose 1.2% to $1.64 after the gold miner reported a record production for the 2021 financial year. The miner posted full-year production of 272,109 ounces, an all-in sustaining cost of $1,317 an ounce. The production, however, was below its revised guidance of between 275,000 and 280,000 ounces. For financial year 2022, the company has pegged gold production to be between 260,000 and 300,000 ounces. Next up, real estate player Unibail-Rodamco Westfield shares were down 0.3% to $5.80 after it reported earnings for the first half of the year. The company reported 26.2% decline in net rental income as the group's centres closed for 68 days on average in wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The company's CEO, Jean-Marie Triton, said the positive indicators and continued progress of the vaccination rollout give reasons to be cautiously optimistic. But the pandemic situation and potential government responses remain a source of uncertainty in terms of outlook. Moving on, property group Arena REIT's shares slipped over 1% to $3.58. That's on lease renegotiation with Good Start Early Learning. The company has agreed terms for the renegotiation of leases on a portfolio of 87 properties across Australia with its largest tenant partner, Good Start. One of the key terms of renegotiation includes installation of solar renewable energy systems across all Arena-owned Good Start properties. Let's look at the next news now. Shares of software firm Iress rallied almost 13% after rejecting a takeover bid from investment organisation EQT Fund Management. The board of the company declined the offer, saying that it did not represent compelling value for its shareholders. On July the 4th, EQT had proposed to acquire all of Iress's shares at a price range of between $15.30 and $15.50 cash per share. In a separate development, the software provider announced an on-market share buyback of up to $100 million of ordinary fully paid shares. The buyback is likely to begin after Iress's audited half-year results, scheduled for the 19th of August. And corporate bookmaker PointsBet Holdings has announced a capital raising of approximately $400 million. Following the announcement, shares of the company dropped 4.5% to $11.29. That's all for now on the Mid-Market Pulse. Keep watching 𝐊𝐼𝐴 TV as we bring you the latest news, trending market updates live from Sydney. I'm Rachel, signing off for now.